Hello friends, it is a well-established fact that anthropology is one of the most preferred optional subjects by many UPSC aspirants and toppers. Do you know why? And most of you might have heard about the word anthropology, but have you ever tried to understand what anthropology is all about? And if you are still confused whether to take anthropology as an optional or not, so friends, in today's discussion, let us dive into a beautiful world of anthropology and let's try to address all the questions related to anthropology. So friends, if we just talk about the basic details of anthropology, before we go to that, so myself, Dr. Suresh Guramkunda, so I'm the faculty of anthropology at SRIRAM's IAS, and I welcome you all to this session on behalf of SRIRAM's IAS. So friends, let's get back to our topic of discussion and let's try to discuss why anthropology is one of the most preferred optional subjects by many UPSC aspirants and toppers. So here if you see in this video, let's try to decode anthropology as an optional subjects and let's try to address some of the common frequently asked questions about anthropology optional, right? So if you see further in today's discussion, let us try to address some of the basic questions like what is anthropology? So we need to have a basic understanding about anthropology. So let's try to answer that. Then let's try to discuss and let's try to dwell more into the topic of discussion that why anthropology is one of the most preferred optional subjects by many UPSC aspirants. That means why to choose anthropology as an optional subject. Okay, so this would be our major quest in today's discussion. And then who can opt for anthropology as an optional subject? So this is another important commonly asked question. That means I am from non-science background student and can I opt for anthropology? So such kind of questions also been asked. So that is one thing. And then let's try to address other questions like when is the best time for anthropology preparation or in fact for optional subjects. So that is another important thing that we'll be discussing. And then how to prepare for anthropology optional. So what is the strategy for preparation of anthropology optional? So these are nothing but some of the most commonly and frequently asked questions by many of the students. So in the wake of such kind of demand, so I'm making a video and I'm making one session so that you all can understand the basic question and you can just choose right aspects, right? So let's begin with first question, that is what is anthropology? So friends, if we just basically discuss about the concept or the word anthropology, etymologically speaking, the word anthropology is derived from two Greek words. One is anthropos, meaning man, and other one is logos, meaning to study. So if you basically talk from the perspective of the word anthropology, so anthropology is basically derived from two Greek words. One is anthropos and the second one is logos. So you might have heard about this logos or logi at various places, biology, zoology, all those things. So here the word anthropos basically refers to man and the word anthropos also refers to human in other way. So the word logos basically refers to study. So if you look etymologically, that means root word perspective point of view, it has been derived from two Greek words, anthropos and logos. So etymologically speaking, anthropology can be defined simply as a study of man or human beings. So in simple fashion, that is that. So when we are saying that study of human beings, so what kind of study it is? So that is also one thing that we have to understand. So when we try to talk about the nature of the study that we are discussing, so anthropology is basically, it is nothing but it's a systematic, it's a scientific, it's a holistic and integrated study of man. in both time and space. So this is basic definition or basic meaning of anthropology. So without knowing the definition or without knowing the basic meaning of anthropology, if we try to understand more, then it is of no means. So that's why we have tried to understand about that. So not only this, so anthropology is not just about studying tribes or fossils. So anthropology is about studying you and me and our daily choices, like from food to fashion, and from let's say for example from festivals to families, as well as like from past to present. Anthropology tries to answer and address so many of our day-to-day activities. And other thing is that apart from this, like it also tries to address so many questions about human beings, like is culture unique to human beings? What makes us truly human? And like who we are, from where we came, and where our ancestors. And apart from that, like how can we live together in this world of diversity? So anthropology tries to address all such kind of questions in a systematic way, in a scientific way, in a rational way, as well as in a logical way. So that is one thing. And apart from this, like if you speak from anthropology point of view, so it also tries to explain us from cave paintings to CRISPR-Cas technology. Anthropology connects the past, present and the future, and thus it tries to explain and it tries to address most of the aspects about human beings. So from that perspective, so anthropology can be a game changer in your UPSC preparation. So let's try to answer about the big question of the day, that is like why anthropology is chosen as one of the most preferred optional subjects. So before that, try to just basically understand the syllabus of anthropology. So in anthropology, we'll be having two papers as like all other subjects. So there, in paper 1, we'll be studying about the concepts of general anthropology, so which includes some of the major areas like physical anthropology, which deals about various biological as well as physical aspects related to man. And then you'll be having socio-cultural anthropology. So in this, like we'll be trying to understand about various socio-cultural aspects related to man. So then we'll also try to study about language, so which is another branch that is known as linguistic anthropology. And apart from that, we will also try to understand some of the important aspects related to human evolution and primatology, which is a part and parcel and which also present in archaeological anthropology. So these are nothing but some of the important key areas where we'll be discussing in paper 1, which talks about general anthropology. And then if you see from paper 2, so paper 2 is basically composed of two major sections. So first section is nothing but Indian anthropology and second section is nothing but the tribal anthropology. So this is another important thing that you have to keep in mind. So now let's enter into the big question of the day, that is why anthropology is the best optional or why it is preferred by many UPSC aspirants. So friends, let me explain you that whenever you are just going to take any optional, so you have to see some of the basic questions and you have to address some of the basic questions. So one of those like areas that you have to see is that what is the nature of the syllabus? You have to see what is the nature of the syllabus, and then what is the nature of the subject, that also you have to verify and check, and then like whether that particular subject has scoring prospects or not, so that also you have to verify. And then success rate, what about the success rate? Does this particular optional has success rate or not? So this is another important aspect. And then resource availability, so is that particular subject possess good material or not? So that is another important thing that we have to check. And then what about the syllabus overlapping? So does this particular optional helps in general studies or not? So this is another question that we have to discuss. So if you look from the perspective of the big question of the day, so why anthropology is considered as one of the best optional means. So first, if you look from the perspective of the nature of syllabus, so first thing, so if we talk about the nature of syllabus, so the syllabus has been pretty well defined in the notification itself with good predictability of the questions. That means the questions will be directly reflected from the syllabus. So that is one thing. That means there is good predictability of the questions. So if you follow the syllabus properly, if you have notes word by word which is mentioned in the syllabus, then definitely you can answer some of the questions directly. So that is one thing. So second thing, if you see nature of subject, when we talk about the nature of subject, so some optionals will be mostly dynamic, some optionals will be mostly static, some optionals will be hybrid. So if we talk from anthropology point of view, so anthropology, the subject is more of static and less of dynamic in nature. That means, I mean to say that this particular subject is predominantly static, where little portions of current affairs will be incorporated and included into this. So this is one thing. So when we are talking about the dynamic nature of the subject, means if the subject is static, then what you can do is you can prepare once, you can make the notes once, and once you make the notes, you don't need to just update it much, so that you can focus and you can divert all your energy in value addition. So this is one important aspect that you have to keep in mind. So that's why you should pick such an optional where it is predominantly static. So that is one thing. So anthropology is predominantly static. So this thing you can remember. And then apart from that, scoring prospects. So what about scoring prospects? So in fact, why do we pick a particular optional? It is all about for getting a good score. So if we are choosing a particular optional, we should be clear that that particular optional has scoring potential. If a scoring potential is very less, then why to opt for that particular optional? So let's try to see some of the evidences for that. So if you see some of the scores which we have got in previous years, like here, if we start from 2017 onwards to 2024, so this is these are nothing but the top scores in anthropology. So have you ever tried to address this question, that what is the top mark in UPSC anthropology optional? Are you aware of that? It is 362. 362 is the top mark in anthropology optional, which has been backed by Lakshmi Nagappan in 2018. So she has backed 362. 362 is not a small mark, it's a very huge mark. And then apart from this, like you can also see other aspects, like let's say for example, it is not only 362, so you can also see 350 and 339, 338 and 335. So like this, so many of them have scored more than 300 in anthropology optional. And apart from this, if you see some of the toppers, like can you see like Anudeep Durshetty? So in the year 2017, so Anudeep Durshetty was the All India rank 1. So his optional also was anthropology. That's one thing. And then can you see in 2018, Akshat Jain? He was another topper with anthropology optional. So he secured All India rank 2 in 2018. And then can you see in 2020, again Shubham Kumar with anthropology optional, he bagged All India rank 1. So this is one thing. So that means most of the toppers, you can see rank 1, rank 2, rank 3, like Sachin Gupta, rank 3. So like that, you can see rank 3, Uma Harti in 2022. So rank 4, PK Siddharth Ram Kumar in 2023. So like that, there were so many toppers have opted this particular optional. So with this, what you can take it means, so you can also score 300 plus in anthropology, provided you need to have right strategy, right guidance and right preparation. So just this is for the sake of evidence, so that like you can understand like what was the history of scoring prospects and scoring potential of anthropology optional. Is that it clear for you now? That means it is very much possible that if you put your right efforts, your right strategy, and if you proceed with anthropology optional, there is every possibility that you can score anything around 300 plus. So that is one thing. So now let us try to address and understand some other questions. What about the success rate? So when we take a particular optional in UPSC, so we need to look at its success rate. So if we talk from anthropology point of view, so anthropology is one of the most and highly successful optional with proven record of consistent results as well as regular toppers that you have already saw. So this is one other important thing that you have to keep in mind. So mostly its success rate is around 10%. That means 9%. So out of 100, so nearly 9 to 10 will be clearing with anthropology optional. So that's the success rate of anthropology optional. And then like what about resource availability? That means if I add this optional, shall I possess good books and resources? Yes, absolutely. So anthropology has good resource availability. So that is another added advantage for you. And then what about syllabus overlapping? That means how much extent the optional subjects syllabus will overlap with the general studies syllabus. So that is one important thing that you have to see while selecting an optional. So if we talk from anthropology's perspective, so unlike all other optionals, so anthropology is a beautiful blend of all the other general studies subjects, like let's say for example from society to art and culture, and then we can have from history to science and technology, and then we can also have from polity to environment and ecology and whatnot. So even current affairs also. So from that point of view, what we can say, so you can find the relevance of each and every general studies subject in anthropology, because we will be systematically and scientifically studying about human being. So all the disciplines or all the subjects, be it could be history, be it could be polity, be it could be economy, be it could be science and technology, so all of them are about human beings. So you can find the relevance of each and every general studies subject in anthropology. So that is one key thing that you can remember. So in general aspect to say, if you try to take anthropology as an optional, so definitely around 700 to 800 marks in your general studies could be covered with anthropology optional. So this is best and the great added advantage that anthropology gives you. So think about this once. Not only general studies. So if you are just having anthropology as an optional, you can also excel in essay also. So that is one another important thing. So friends, apart from this, when we talk from the perspective of things like let's say optionals, so interest matters. So without having any interest, so we cannot proceed with anything, isn't it? So if we talk from the perspective of interest point of view, so friends, it is that in anthropology, as I have said you, that it is a systematic study of man. So that means what? We, you and I are going to study about as human beings, isn't it? That means subject of study, that is anthropology, and object of study, you and me. So both of us are going to study about human beings. That means the subject of study and object of study are same. So that means, isn't it an interesting subject? And apart from that, anthropology tries to address so many day-to-day questions that we can have in a scientific manner, in a rational manner, as well as in a logical manner. So in classes, we'll be trying to understand about all such kind of things in a systematic manner. So that is one another important thing that you have to remember. So it is a very curious, it is a very interesting, it is a very popular subject because it tries to teach you and it tries to make you aware about so many curious facts about human beings. Like, where are our ancestors? So from where did we came? So is culture unique to human beings? So all such questions would be answered by anthropology. So from that point of view, my dear friends, it would be an interesting, curious, and it's a kind of most popular subject from that particular perspective. So that's from the perspective of like why anthropology is one of the most preferred optional subjects. Is that clear for you? Now, so let's try to address so other things. Like let's say for example, after knowing what is anthropology, why to choose anthropology, or like why most of the aspirants choose anthropology as an optional subject, let us try to address one of the important questions, that who can opt for anthropology optional. So who is one important question that we have to address. So who can opt for this particular optional? So friends, as I have said you that anthropology is a beautiful blend of all these subjects, whether it is humanities or sciences. So we'll be studying about history, we'll be studying about environment ecology, we'll be studying about science and technology, we'll be studying about Indian society and society aspects. So students with any academic background can opt this particular optional, because if you see in the past history, be the toppers from engineering background, from science background, or from humanities background, so most of them have secured top scores. So that's a testimonial which you can take back. So from that perspective, be you are from science background, be you are from humanities background, so from any background, from any academic background you may, but you can opt anthropology optional, because whatever you study in general studies will be the subject matter of anthropology, like that. So in general studies anyhow you have to learn about that in the similar fashion. So if you learn here, there it would be an advantage for you. If you learn in general studies, it would be an advantage for you in anthropology optional. So that's the basic logic here. So that means anyone can have it. So any aspirant can take this particular optional. So that is one important thing that you have to remember or keep in mind. So this is one thing. So some of the common questions are like, sir, I am from non-science background, can I opt for anthropology optional? Absolutely yes. So you can opt, because there is the level of science that would be there in anthropology is that level of the general studies, paper 3, science and technology. So if you are studying there, same could be applicable here. So if you are studying science and technology in anthropology, that helps you to just excel in general studies also. So that is one another important thing. And then if you see from the perspective of next aspect, so basically to say like, when is the best time to prepare for anthropology optional, or like in fact optional? So if you say from the perspective of that, so the period from September to December, or like you can say January. So this is basically considered as the right time, because most of the aspirants, they might be starting their UPSC journey from, let's say, from June to July. So students will start their UPSC preparation. So when you start your UPSC preparation or UPSC journey, mostly you might not know basic subjects and basic understanding about UPSC. So from June, July to August and September, it takes basically around 2 to 3 months for understanding the basic nature of UPSC examination. So once you understand the basic UPSC examination, understand the nature of UPSC Civil Services Examination, then you can proceed for your optional subject. So you can proceed with your optional subject preparation. So by this time, advantage would be that you might know the basic syllabus of general studies, so that you will get to understand the significance of optional studies also. So from that point of view, so September to January, so period of around 4 to 5 months would be the best period to complete the optional subject. So here also, in general way to say, September to January, or in fact December, would be regarded as the make and break year, make and break months in UPSC preparation, because most of the aspirants will be lethargic and most of the aspirants will be in relaxed mode during this particular period. So this period is basically considered as the golden period in anthropology, where you have to utilize this period systematically so that you can gain the maximum benefit during this period with peaceful preparation. So that is one thing. So this is that to address the question when to prepare. So when is the right time for preparation? So right time for preparation is from September to December or January. So this is one thing. So you can prepare during this period. So this is one another important aspect. So friends, then if we say about the another important as well as the next important thing, how to prepare for optional. So what is the right strategy? So you need to possess right strategy. When you possess the right strategy, no one can stop you from achieving success. So let's try to understand what is the basic strategy. So first, friends, like what you have to do when we talk about this strategy. So first and foremost thing that you have to do is that you should try to master the syllabus. So first thing that you have to keep in mind is that master the syllabus. So when we talk about the thing like master the syllabus, how you can master the syllabus? So this is one another important thing. So one thing is that pick the notification and try to verify the syllabus and try to read and try to decode the syllabus properly. So after decoding the syllabus, so what you need to do? So you have to just refer to important books and references. So this is another thing. So pick best books and references. So you have to do this. So once you master, then you have to select good books and references. So once you just do that, then you should proceed towards developing or building conceptual clarity. So conceptual clarity is one important aspect. So when we try to talk about the conceptual clarity, how can you get conceptual clarity? So you can get conceptual clarity through regular classes. So through regular classes, and apart from that, you can also proceed through self-study. So when you're proceeding through self-study, it would be that you must be cautious enough, because in classes you will be taught some new things, some value addition kind of things, like be it could be case studies, be it could be current affairs, be it could be all other examples, so will be mentioned in classes. So try to just pick or choose regular classes. Through regular classes, you can get the conceptual clarity. So once you attain the conceptual clarity, then you have to identify hot spots. So what are hot spots? So hot spots are nothing but the areas from where the questions have been repeatedly asked. So hotspot areas. So there are some of the important concepts which will be regularly picked and asked in Anthropology optional by UPSC. So that's, they are nothing but hard spots. So from where you can get the hard spots? So when you try to analyze the previous year questions, so you have to go with the analysis of previous year questions. So when you do this, you can identify the hot spots. So after identifying the hot spots, what you need to do? So once you identify the hot spots, then you have to work upon conceptual enrichment. So this is one thing. So next important thing that you have to proceed is you should work upon building conceptual enrichment. So how you can get this conceptual enrichment? So when you talk from it, so first and foremost thing that you have to do is you have to make your handwritten notes. Handwritten notes is very much crucial in optional preparation, particularly in anthropology optional. If you have your notes word by word that is mentioned in the syllabus, that would be the major and golden gift that you can have and that you can give to yourself. So this handwritten notes should be self-made. Remember friends, there is no shortcut for success. Do not pick any such kind of handwritten notes that are available in the market, because such kind of handwritten notes were being made by others. So it is not that you have made that particular note. So what you can do is you have to make your own handwritten notes. So this is one another thumb rule that you can remember. Now assume that you have also got the conceptual enrichment. So there, apart from this, you should work upon your skill set enhancement. So you have to work upon your skill set enhancement. So what is the skill set enhancement? Just try to recollect. You have mastered the syllabus, then you have got the conceptual clarity, and then you have identified the hotspots of anthropology, and then you have also developed the conceptual enrichment. So now next thing that you have to do is enhancement of your skill sets. What do you mean by enhancement of skill set? So enhancement of skill sets means in UPSC journey, like answer writing is a skill. So you need to have an extensive writing habit. So you must be a good, you must have good answer writing skills. So you should work upon improving and enhancing your answer writing skills. And apart from this, how you can do this? So you can just enrich or enhance your answer writing skills by taking any daily answer writing programs or by opting for any test series. So these are two important things. So daily answer writing program or test series will boost your answer writing skills. And apart from this, like how you can just enrich your further skills means, so try to just understand that you need to incorporate the value addition material. Value addition aspects, like it would be like things like case studies, or it would be like tables, or it would be things like, then it would be things like flowcharts, diagrams, etc. So all such kind of things you have to practice in advance. You should try making tables, you should try drawing diagrams, you should try making value addition information, like let's say case studies, examples, all such kind of things. So you have to work upon all those things prior to the examination. So once you do this, all these things, then you will get the ability to face the examination. And then furthermore, you have to just proceed with discussion and debate. So healthy discussions and healthy debates about the optional, as well as when you discuss, when you share, you will know that and you will grow that kind of knowledge more. So this is one important thing that you have to remember. So friends, like another thing to say, like what you have to do. So remember this thumb rule, like what you have to do. So thing is that you have to take, or you have to build right strategy. So right strategy is one thing. So this is one important thing that you have to keep in mind. So when you possess the right strategy, then no one can stop you from achieving success. So this is one important thing. So this is how you can say that this is how you can prepare your optional. So that is one thing. So that's one another important thing. So then friends, like in this video, we have tried to understand some of the basic questions. So let's try to answer about some other frequently asked questions, so which can be useful in anthropology optional. So with this, let's try to wind off the discussion for today, and let's try to meet again in next videos. Thank you all.